Introduction to Classical Tibetan, Lesson 4-2. The special structure of some intransitive sentences. In general, transitive verbs have an object marked by an agentive particle and a direct object. And before, we learned that intransitive verbs usually have a subject that is not marked by a particle and no direct object, because intransitive verbs do not involve an agent acting on a separate object. However, there are some special cases where sentences with intransitive verbs have slightly different structures. We've already seen some examples of verbs of motion that have a location added marked by the la particle. In the sentence Kong bula jo, he goes to Tibet, the location, Tibet, is marked with a la particle. But this is not the direct object of going. It just shows the place where the going is done. With verbs of motion such as go, come, walk, etc., verbs of living such as stay, sit, live, and verbs of dependence such as depend on, based on, and so on, we can structure sentences in similar ways. These are all intransitive verbs, but they can have extra information added signifying location, marked by the la particle. Verbs that indicate perception or attitude are technically intransitive, but they do take an object that is different from the subject. For this reason, these kinds of verbs require a slightly different sentence structure. Verbs of perception, such as see, hear, know, understand, and so on, usually have a subject that's marked with the agentive particle and an object that's not marked with any particle. For example, Kongki suk tongo. The verb tong, meaning see, is intransitive. But notice that the subject, kong, is marked with an agentive particle. The thing that is seen is suk, form. So this sentence reads, he sees a form. Verbs of attitude, such as to be afraid, to doubt, to love, and so on, have a subject with no particle and an object marked by the la particle. For example, sonam drogla gao. The verb here, ga, means to like. The subject is the proper name sonam. Who does sonam like? Friends. The object drog is marked with a la particle, but when we translate this sentence, we leave that particle untranslated. Sonam likes her friends. There are a couple of other exceptions with intransitive verbs. One exception occurs with the verb gupa, to need. With this verb, the subject is marked by a la particle, and the object is not marked by any particle. For example, metok la chugu. The subject is flowers, metok, marked by the la particle. What do flowers need? Chu, water. Flowers need water. The last exception is with the verb topa, meaning to get, to obtain, or to achieve. With this verb, neither the subject nor the object is marked by a particle. So, changchup sempa changchup top. The subject is changchup sempa, bodhisattva, and the thing that is achieved is changchup, enlightenment. The bodhisattva achieves enlightenment. These four different sentence structures are just some things to keep in mind as you continue to learn about verbs. To review, verbs of perception have a subject marked with an agentive particle and an object marked with no particle. Verbs of attitude have a subject marked with no particle and an object marked with the la particle. And the verb gupa, to need, has a subject with the la particle and an object with no particle. Finally, the verb topa, to obtain, has a subject and an object, neither of which are marked by particles.